Happy Hump Day, my friends, and welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. On today's episode of the Prime, we're going to be bringing you our UFL season 2026 edition, week number 1 preview. We're also going to break down some of the new rules and some of the new teams real quick before we get up into that. Of course, as we try to be the number 1 hub for all things UFL. If you like what we're doing here at Prime Sports World, please like, share, subscribe to the podcast. I'm David Huffman, right there, my co-host, Mr. T.J. Hopkins. Welcome to the show, TJ. Happy Wednesday, my friend. How are you?
I'm living, it's Wednesday, which isn't Thursday, which also isn't Friday, which also isn't the weekend.
Yeah, I feel like although this weekend, Friday is like my traditional Friday. I actually have the weekend off. I'm going to a concert on Friday night. So I was going to just take the Saturday off, but I was like, you know what? I'll just take them both off. What the hell? What difference does it make?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I got a lot to talk about when it comes to the UFL. We're going to talk about week 1. We're going to talk about all the new rules and talk about the new teams, get into all the stuff when it comes to the UFL. If you missed my big preview episode last week, go back and check that. That's on YouTube and our Facebook page as we try to be the number 1 hub for all things UFL. Let's talk about the new rules, TJ, because I think there are some of them that are pretty interesting and some of them I don't really get. So let's talk about. So there's some things to know as we head into this rule. As we have Friday as opening night for the UFL. We got the Birmingham Stallions going into Louisville, taking on the Kings. But first, we got new teams. 3 new teams going into this season. Technically 4, but the Gamblers are just the battle, or just the Roughnecks rebranded. Same thing with the Renegades. Go from Arlington to Dallas. But we do have the Louisville Kings, the Columbus Aviators, and I still have a lot of friends that live in Columbus, and they're all pretty excited about the opportunity to see live football in spring. Go and watch the Aviators. So shout out to all my friends that still live in Columbus. Go to check out the Aviators. Go support them. They need you guys. And then we got the Orlando Storm. They get a team after having the Guardians in the XFL. And then, you lose the Brahmas, you lose the Panthers, and you lose the Memphis Showboats. What do you think about what do you think about the decision to kind of move some of these teams around? And do you think the decision would have been the same if the Panthers had won the title last year? I mean, I don't know if you can move a team that just won a championship.
That's.
I don't know.
No, like that's a rabbit hole that will forever be.
I personally don't understand moving the Michigan Panthers.
No, that's a rabbit hole that will forever be eternally going. That's one of those, you go down that rabbit hole, you're never gonna get a concrete answer. Every time you think you find an answer, it's just gonna piss you off because you're gonna have to do more and more digging. Michigan, to your point, Michigan was actually one of the popular teams.
Yeah. I mean, we had players. I mean, Jake Bates. Yeah, Jake effing Bates went from the Michigan Panthers into the National Football League. As like a Detroit Lion. That's the one team I guess I don't really understand cutting out of this league. I fully support moving a team to Louisville and moving a team to Columbus. I think those are interesting football cities, given the college football that they have in those particular cities. I mean, the Orlando thing. I mean, is football successful for Orlando? It doesn't feel like it.
I think with Orlando, your only attraction can't continue to be the Orlando Magic and Disney World. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the Orlando Magic are only an attraction for from October
I mean,
to
it's really I remember. I don't know if I remember I told you this or not, but I went to Orlando for a trip with one of my friends, and we went to a Walmart, and we went to normally if you go to Walmart any time of the year you'll see like Chicago Bulls merchandise on the shelves, right? At Walmart, no matter what
yeah.
time, even if it's not like basketball season, there was not a single Orlando Magic thing in the entire store, and it was like June, but it wasn't like not. It was like the very end of the fact that there was no Magic gear at this Walmart in Orlando. It was just like, all right, people in Orlando don't care about the Magic. Let's be real. Like the only time they care about the Orlando Magic is if they're really good. Otherwise, they could care less about the Orlando Magic. And no offense if you live in Orlando, apologize if you're a diehard Magic fan. I apologize. I've been saying for 15 years that Derrick Rose has Dwight Howard's MVP. I'm not a hater on the Magic. I just don't think that city cares about them. Anyways,
the getting rid of Memphis made sense. The team wasn't good.
The same thing with the Brahmas. As much as I love the San Antonio Brahmas, they were also trash, and it made sense to cut them out of the league. And we also had two other teams in Texas. You didn't need three; just move one of them out of there. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's the part that I mean. I'm still mad they got rid of the Seattle team like that. Still burnt I still hate
I
that.
love the Sea Dragons. The Sea Dragons put the nooch on the map, man. Come
on. It's did they get no? They didn't get rid of St. Louis. That would be malpractice.
That would be you most popular team in the league. Get rid of.
I mean, I can't say they're the most pop. Well, you can,
yes,
but
they are. They are for sure.
I think the DC Defenders would have something to say about that. In terms
of sheer attendance, it's not close.
In terms of sheer attendance, it's not close. But in terms
also the St. Louis Battlehawks play in a much larger stadium than any larger
stadium.
Like they play in a legit NFL stadium.
They play in a legit NFL stadium where it's very, and St. Louis is it's a football town. Like it just sucks that they had such a downtrodden era where the Rams just weren't good and nobody was really going to those games, and then their team gets moved again to LA, and here you are with this. And I think in order for more teams to be added, they have and I think this is why they're shuffling teams around, right? They have to, because right now it's still 8, right? It's still 8 teams.
Yeah.
So like they have to get to a point where you have 8 teams getting as close to a sellout as possible. You can't expand until those 8 teams are consistently bringing in fans. And right now, go back to the slide with the map. Just go. So like right now.
Well, this map doesn't really show.
But it doesn't show. But you have locations, right? Like DC and the only 2 consistent teams with solid fan bases, or 3 really. Because
Birmingham has pretty good fans.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to discredit Birmingham like that. Birmingham, DC, and St. Louis are, in my opinion, like really the only 3 that you can count on game day to have a very solid attendance output. Was that Dallas? They kept the Renegades.
I like the Renegades. All right, they got Mr. Spring Football. You can't get rid of the Renegades. They won the title a couple years ago with Mr. Spring Football. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if you're going to expand the league, you have to be able to approach different markets. You had 3 teams in Texas, doesn't really get the job done, and then you had Memphis. I mean, that's basically just split Memphis with Louisville, and then you have Columbus, which has a more of an East Coast market than you would have at Michigan. With the in Detroit. So and Columbus is a really good football city too. And it's also a market that doesn't already have any other sports. Like, I mean, they have the Blue Jackets, but besides the Blue Jackets, I mean, it's a pretty untapped market when it comes to professional sports.
And
Same thing with
I
Louisville. Louisville doesn't have any professional sports, even though it's a
no,
very large
and
city.
I
And
think
Orlando only has the Magic.
Magic, and I think that's a low key recipe for disaster. Like banking on the collegiate fan base to gravitate towards this new thing. Like you're not. I mean, like to ask a fan base that's predominantly what Ohio State fans in Columbus to be like, hey, here's this new football attraction.
Well, I will tell you, it has sort of worked. I have a couple of friends that actually bought season tickets to this because it isn't terribly expensive. So I mean, it's as a marketing ploy, it's already kind of worked. I mean, they got fans of my friends that weren't watching the UFL buying tickets and going to games. So
And then the same thing.
also in
Same thing in Louisville.
that Columbus team is playing at the historic Crew Stadium. That is a super cool venue. Like it is,
Okay,
it is,
no,
it is, it
okay,
is really
so
good. It's
you're
nice.
gonna. I'm glad you mentioned that. So like, you're gonna have to explain the significance to that stadium to those who don't know.
Well, I mean,
Outside,
it's where the Columbus Crew used to play, and now they use it as like a big concert venue and stuff like that. It's just a really cool venue. Like it has like these really cool seating. It has like the stadium is really cool, like really well set up. There's also like outdoor areas, like on the fringe areas that you can do for tailgating. It's perfect for an NFL stadium, or not an NFL, like a UFL stadium, like a smaller venue. It's perfect for that. Like, and it's got the cachet of being like an older stadium. People in Columbus like kind of gravitate towards that stadium. Now that the Columbus Crew plays in a Taj Mahal, is what it really is when it comes to a soccer stadium. It is the nicest soccer stadium you'll ever be inside of in your life. But I mean, it's just an opportunity for it's Columbus is a great football city. It's going to be. I have a feeling that fan base is to do gangbusters there, and I'm excited for it.
okay.
Yeah. But then we got some other rules. So let's talk about the conference changes. No longer will we have the UFL, XFL conference and the USFL conference. Now the top 4 teams, regardless of conference, they'll go to the playoffs and they'll play each other in the playoffs. I like this rule as a typical. We had a team we had like 3 really good teams in the XFL conference, or I don't know which conference it was. There was 3 very good teams in one of the conferences last season, and they were leaps and bounds better than the other teams in the UFL and the other conference, and that they didn't make the playoffs. I'm okay with this rule. It doesn't bother me.
So new conference changes for. Wait. Say the conference changes again.
So there's no more conferences. Like last season they had the UFL conference, and then you had the XFL conference. Yeah.
Right.
And so that's no
I
longer
don't
going to be the case.
I don't hate that either. I always thought having conferences for 8 teams made no sense any goddamn way. It's 8 of y'all. Just do a flat out playoff bracket. It's one game. Same rules apply. 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5, and y'all play that until there's a champion, but like obviously you're not gonna do that. Like so, it was like what the top 4 teams make the playoffs.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, same thing. 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3. Yeah, and then you go to the championship from now.
The other rule change, the 4-point field goal. So any kick over 60 yards is now going to be worth 4 points. I think for strategy, it becomes interesting. I'm not sure I'm crazy about it because I think we're going to have teams line it up on top of the no punts over midfield. We're going to have teams just kicking field goals that are like 70 yards just for hey, we can get an extra point out of it. But it will increase scoring in the UFL. You get that extra point, and it kind of incentivizes having big leg kickers. And those guys actually get into the NFL. We already seen one guy go from this league to the NFL. So I'm okay with this too. The 4-point field goal.
I'm not. It's why. Like
You think it's like too gimmicky?
Yes. I
It feels
it,
like if like another like they'll say like a competitive like let's say like another NBA league was to come out with and they were like to come up with like a 4-point play, like a 4-point shot, right? It feels kind of like that where it's just like you're just doing this just to have a different rule. Like
yeah, that part. Like so, I I I praise. I don't mind innovation as long as it's not a gimmick. This is a gimmick. The kick, like when they did the thing with the kickoff, that was cool because like you can't preach this whole like, hey, we're all about player safety. This is one of the ways um we're gonna implement player safety. We're not gonna have players charging at each other full speed ahead on the kickoff anymore. So this is how we're gonna do it. Nobody can move until the returner catches the ball on the kickoff. That's fine.
and that rule's
The
back now. Like
and
that rule's gone for one season. It comes back now. The rule that they invented, it's a good. It comes back
and
easily.
and it also helps your cause when the NFL steals your tactic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Rule number two. I love the whole hey, we're not doing onside kicks anymore. That shit rarely works. So if you want to go for it, here's a 4th and 13 or whatever, 4th and 12, whatever it is.
12. Yeah.
If you get it, you keep the ball. I'm literally waiting on the day the NFL adopts that rule too because it's coming.
I'm. You know what? I'm surprised that there isn't more conversation around that rule that happens. Like I
Absolutely.
no nobody ever talks about it. Like that should be that's like if 4th and 15 from the 30, if you convert it, you get to keep the ball and you get an opportunity to that rule should be implemented this offseason. Like it doesn't make any sense that it's not already a thing.
Like I don't give a damn about the tush push. Like
Yeah, yeah. I
stop,
also, and I know it's
stop
banned
having
from. I know it's banned from the UFL as a new rule here, but it wasn't used much in the UFL anyway, so I don't really care about the fact. That's great, it's banned. Perfect. All right, cool. Like I don't care about the touch, but stop trying to ban it. Like if
stop
people
trying
want
to
to do it,
ban like yeah,
go
yeah,
for
yeah.
it. Like make changes to the league that actually make sense. Like that 4th and 12 rule should be in the NFL today.
Bruce,
Like it doesn't make any sense.
the the conversion thing, the conversion plays in the UFL, the 1 point, 2 point, 3 point conversions. I actually don't have a problem with that. It's like you're what
Well,
you
that they actually changed that rule slightly this for this particular season. We'll get
that's
to it. We'll get to it when
but yeah, like the whole field goals past 60 yards are worth 4 now. What are y'all cloning Jake Bates?
yeah. Yeah. Well, I also think that I don't think it's going to come up that much. There are like if you could kick a 60-yard field goal plus 60+ yard field goal regularly in football, you're going to be in the National Football League. I'm not sure there are that many kickers that can hit that stuff on a regular basis that are just out there in the world. Like there might be one or two guys in the UFL that can hit that on a regular basis, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna have the impact that people think it's gonna have. Like I don't think there's gonna be that many kickers kicking that ball 60+ yards on a regular basis.
I just don't like the whole well we past this certain distance we're gonna make it an extra point. Also, I like it's and to your point, like if you only have like one or two kickers in your league attempting 60+ yards on a regular basis, why have it? Every kicker is not gonna be kicking
Yeah.
that far, and
Well,
every, and for that matter,
I
like
think for end of game strategy stuff, I think like let's say you have that like ace in your hole, like you just have a kicker that maybe he may not be the most accurate kicker. Like let's say Joey Sly is your kicker. No offense to Joey Sly, he is not the most accurate kicker in the NFL. The only reason that Joey Sly continues to be in the National Football League because he's got a monster leg. He can kick it 65 effing yards, but he misses kicks that are like routine, like on the regular basis. So let's say you have like that ace in your hole, you have a kicker that can bang it for 65 yards, but he's
I
basically
mean,
useless from anywhere else.
like the only I mean like real like the only time it should like make sense is you're down 20-17, you're not gonna get any closer. It's like, hey, 62 yard kick for the win will literally be for the win. Like it makes it like it puts you up 21 to no, it makes it 21-20. You win. If you're down 20-17, kick a
Yeah.
62-yard field goal, you win.
Yeah. I mean,
20 to if
I'm
20
fine
to
with this rule.
16 ties the game.
The rule that I really don't like is the no punting inside the 50-yard line. I mean, we're talking about like average starting field position in the National Football League is at the 35. You basically have to get 15 yards. Like, what's even the point of having punters in that league anymore? Like, other than to be placeholders for, I'm less excited about this rule. It will make for more exciting football because everybody has to go for it on fourth down. It kind of reminds you when you were playing Madden as a kid, right? You would like never punt the ball; you just always go for it. It feels like that, but I'm not crazy about this rule either.
Yeah, because like now it's like field position is one of the key strategic elements of football.
Yeah.
And what do you mean I can't pin my opponent inside the 1 yard line anymore? Like,
And I
what do you
also
mean?
I also kind of think it's ridiculous that like you have, let's say, because if you're at the 49-yard line, you could punt the ball away. But if you gain 1 yard, you automatically all of a sudden you can't punt the ball away anymore.
So like, think about
This
this, bro. Like,
this
so
this this rule, it just seems like also a gimmick. Also feels like it's not football.
so like, think about this. Like, imagine, like you said, like imagine like you're at the 49-yard line, and that's not enough to like pin the opponent deep in their territory without it being a touchback. Like, can you imagine? Like, can you see teams like losing yards on purpose on third
I
down?
was just about to bring that up. Let's say you're at the 49, right? And let's say it's third down, and let's say you're third and like let's say you picked up a couple penalties and like you're back up to the 49, and it's 3rd and 20. You know you're not going to be able to pick up this first down. Like you're not going to be like, and you don't have a kicker that can kick the ball, 60 yards, whatever that math is off the top of my head. I can't remember right now. Are you going to just take a knee just so you don't have to worry about not being able to punt this football away? I think that's going to be a strategy that teams utilize. That's also not football. I don't know how much either of these two rules I just talked about are actually going to impact gameplay, but I think the punting inside the 50-yard line is just too much for me. I don't really care for it. I will be interested to see how it's implemented.
I also don't see these two rules making it past this season. Like, this is 100% experimental.
And
I
also,
don't
yeah,
think
the scenario that I just brought up would not work out because once a team passes the 50, even if they get a penalty or loss of yardage, they still can't punt the ball. So
that's not gonna last long. That's not gonna last past this season.
I just think it's too gimmicky. I'm all for trying new stuff and throwing stuff to the wall and see what sticks, but this just seems like too much for me.
Yeah.
And then, we kind of talked about the tush pushes banned. They have also gone to the college football rule for the 1-foot catch. I mean, this is supposed to be the pros. I don't really like changing that rule either. But, I mean, I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't like that either because every football player, no matter what league they play in, your end-all be-all goal is to make it to the NFL. Like, that rule right there, the 1 foot in rule, while it makes for more possible exciting catches, no, 2 feet, dude. Like you said, like this is the pros. 2 feet, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then obviously the updated before and after format, it's virtually the same. The only difference this year is the 1-point conversion is no longer a 2-point, like basically it's no longer a 2-point attempt. It is a traditional 33-yard field goal for the 1-point conversion.
I don't hate that.
2-point conversion is the ball placed at the 2-yard line, so you get the traditional 2-yard. Basically, it's a standard 2-point conversion. Then the 3-point conversion is at the 8-yard line. If you remember from last season, the 1 point was at the 2, the 2 point was at the 5, and the 3 point was at the 10. So just a little bit of a change. So now you have a field goal option from the 33-yard line. I think the problem with what was going on last season with the 1-point conversion, teams were just not converting it very much. And so you would just constantly leave points on the board because you're just unable to convert that 1-point conversion. And the 1-point conversion also became like you almost never saw teams go for it because the 2-point conversion is only 3 more yards. Like it makes more sense to go for 2 than it would be to go for 1. And now that it's a field goal, pretty standard 33-yard field goal, I like this rule change.
Yeah, I don't hate the making the 1 point an actual extra point. Um, I kind of felt like that always should have been the case. Like I don't mind the 2 or 3 point conversion attempts. Like that's like again, that's always fun. That's innovative. That's something that the league, the NFL won't implement. Like they're like, yeah, we're not gonna add some gimmicky ass 3 point conversion. Like we're gonna keep our traditional extra point and 2 point conversion, so on and so forth. Um, yeah, I have no problem with getting rid of the 1 and just literally making it just a traditional extra point. Uh, yeah, extra point attempt.
And then finally, we kind of talked on the old kickoff has returned. So the kickoff that they invented in the XFL is returning for this season after being missing for 2 seasons. I think that's a home run decision. I'm all for that. And then the new overtime format. So last 2 seasons actually in the UFL, they would do a shootout format. So featuring alternating 2-point conversions, attempts from the 5-yard line. So you best 2 out of 3. Whoever gets more out of 3 wins. And then it goes to sudden death thereafter. Now the rule change has been teams will alternate attempts for the 5-yard, but you get 3 attempts. Oh wait, no. Yeah. I don't. That rule seems the same as well. 3 attempts. Teams will alternate attempts from the 5-yard line.
Yeah, they adapted the college overtime. Like so after so many overtime periods, they just say like, hey, we're just gonna do 2 point conversions type thing.
Yeah. So, but I think that was the rule last year.
I think so too.
But they brought it up as on the website as being some sort of new rule change. But it looks the same as the one I can remember from last year.
Yeah, I think that's the same.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, I think that's the same. I like that overtime rule. I think it's fun. Best 2 out of 3. And then let's talk about week number 1, TJ. Real quick. So, what do you? Number one thing you're excited? I always said, by the way, that this UFL stuff should start like the week after the Super Bowl. We talked about this a couple times, but like having this like 2-month lull where it's like when people are clamoring for the national for football, like right after the Super Bowl, if you could fill that void immediately as opposed to waiting 2 months, it just doesn't make sense to me. And it makes, I guess, more sense now the fact that they have teams playing in cold weather cities with actual cold weather outside, like in Columbus. But yeah, I just don't understand starting the season 2 months after the Super Bowl. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But what are you excited for when it comes to UFL?
Well, again, like I'm always excited just for the product itself. Again, I've been saying it since the American Football Alliance. Yeah, like that league that ultimately folded because they just weren't making any money. Spring football is 100% a viable market. Like it will work. You just have to have that patience and the wherewithal and the basically like the business model to see it through. Like this is America. Football is king. Football will always be the number 1 sport in this country. And now you present the option of having football from basically August till what, June, July?
Yeah, July. Yeah, I mean 2 months from now.
Which is basically year round. So instead of going from February to July of no football, we go from UFL ends, college football literally starts in a month and a half.
Yep, if not sooner than that.
And then and then with the way things are going now, like like leagues are starting sooner and sooner in the fall. So like yeah, like this is a product that will work. I called out ESPN on Twitter like the Monday after the Super Bowl because it was a gif or meme of Stephen A. Smith looking forlorn out the window in First Take Studios, and the caption was "No football until August." And I'm like, you literally have a deal with a new league. Like their games are going to be on your network, and instead of promoting it, you just blatantly say like, "Hey, there's no football until August." Like, no, the UFL is here, and this
Yep.
is what year 3 of it.
Yeah, this is going into the third season, and one of my gripes we'll talk about here in just a second. As we swing into week one, let's talk about it. I do not understand, TJ,
Hmm.
why the Stallions, and no disrespect to either of those two franchises, I do not understand why the Stallions and the Kings are starting the season off on Friday night and not the Defenders and the Battlehawks. The Defenders are the defending champions of the league. They beat the Battlehawks to go on into the championship game last year in a really contested, interesting game. And they're rivals because they played in the same conference. They came from the same league. Why is that not the game that's on Friday night when the league kicks off? And also, why is that game on ESPN at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 11 o'clock here? I guess it's not as bad now that they kind of think about the conversion there, but it still seems really early. Like I know that there is March Madness games on, and I guess they don't want to compete with that. But if you're a league that thinks you have the gumption, like people are not everybody's going to watch the March Madness. Like people are going to watch the UFL. Go up against it. Don't be afraid. Um,
Nah, no, like no, hell no. There are certain things where it's like, hey, we are going to pick our battles,
yeah, all right, fair enough, fair enough. But
and
many rant.
March Madness is not a battle you want to go up against because the casual fan, you literally have the casual fan, and they like, hey, I don't give a damn about college basketball until March Madness. Like they literally just don't care, and they are not going to. Yeah, no, like that is a battle the UFL will lose.
But yeah, let's talk about some of the games here. So Friday night is opening night for the UFL. We got the Birmingham Stallions. This is on Fox, going into Louisville for their very first home game as a franchise. And if you're curious, Birmingham has Matt Corral and Jaron Hall as on their roster at the starting quarterback position. I believe it will be Matt Corral. Their head coach is a familiar name. It is AJ McCarron, of the Battlehawks fame. Tried to make it a little bit of run in the National Football League. Didn't really work out. Now AJ McCarron goes to where he played. It's close to where he went to college. There in Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, probably like a 2-hour drive between those two cities. Shout out to AJ McCarron. Look for you to get a head coaching job. Going into Louisville, whose head coach is Chris Redmond. Going to be honest with you, don't know a ton about him. He did try to start his own league at one point that folded, and their starting quarterback is Jason Bean, who played at Kansas, and it was a pick by the Memphis Showboats last year, who did, or 2 years ago maybe, but did not come over until now, and now he's going to play for the Louisville Kings. Jason Bean versus Matt Corral. We got AJ McCarron versus Chris Redmond. TJ, first game of the season. Who do you got, Birmingham or the Kings of Louisville?
Birmingham, I understand. Like I understand why. Like we see this. Uh, we see this all the time in like different leagues. Louisville, it's your like you're the shiny new toy, you're the new kid on the block, and what better way to quote unquote promote your team than by having one of the bigger teams in the league come into your domain? Right, like that's pretty much what this is. I think that's pretty much what this is. A established UFL team going into the new UFL team and basically trying to like not hype them up, but um Yeah, like just like show them off a little bit.
No, I tend to agree with you on that. I think because let's not forget Louisville Kings are also they basically the Memphis Showboats basically became the Louisville Kings. They have a lot of the same players on their roster that the Memphis Showboats had. And let's also not forget that team was terrible last season. And I just moving to another city doesn't immediately like it's not like boopity boppity boo. You become a good football team, and we have no
Right.
idea. I have never seen Jason Bean play football. I know he went to Kansas. I know he put up some decent numbers there, but he hasn't played football in like a year and a half because he sat out last season after being drafted by the Memphis Showboats. I have no idea if he's any good or not. I know for a fact that Matt Corral, 2 years ago, he was the starting quarterback of the Birmingham Stallions when they won the championship. I'm going with the Stallions. It's nice to get the shiny new toy out there. It makes no sense to me personally, why the DC Defenders Battlehawks game isn't your opening weekend. It does. Like, they won the championship, showcase the team that won they're going to have trophy night. They're going to have ring night. I mean, instead you put that game on at 11 o'clock in the morning where who knows if people are even going to watch it. That's tough. I can't get behind that decision. It doesn't make any sense to me. But speaking of which, now that I talk a bunch of smack, the game of the weekend featuring the defending champion DC Defenders and Jordan Tiamu with Shannon Harris getting that full-time coaching job for the DC Defenders going into St. Louis. Anthony Beck, no longer the coach for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Brandon Silvers, who came on strong towards the back end of last season and led this team to the playoffs. Do not forget, this is a Battlehawks team last season that started the season 0-2 and then rattled off 8 straight wins to finish off the season 8-2. DC 7-3. Jordan Tiamu winning the MVP. And Shannon Harris, I think, won Coach of the Year as well. Actually, somebody weird won the MVP. I don't remember who it was, actually. But Battlehawks. Battlehawks, Defenders, TJ, a rivalry that goes back all the way to the very beginning of the XFL. This should be a slobber knocker banger of a game. Brandon Silvers, Jordan Tiamu, Shannon Harris, and then Ricky Prohl, former Chicago Bear, had a cup of coffee, was a Super Bowl champion for the St. Louis Rams back in the day. He might have won for the Patriots too, but he's for sure at least one time Super Bowl champ. He's now the head coach of that football team. He has absolutely no head coaching experience whatsoever. So let's talk about it. What do you got? Battlehawks, Defenders.
This wait. Didn't who won the championship last year?
The DC Defenders, and they beat the Battlehawks to get there.
Okay. I think I remember because was it last year? Tiamo's numbers were like
Ricky Prohl is a 2-time champion. He won a Super Bowl with the Colts in 2006. And then he won that one when he was on the St. Louis Rams back in was it 2001 or 2000? Yeah. So
was it last year Tiamo's numbers weren't all that high, or was that the year before?
He was good. He was really good last season.
All right, so it was the year before because like
yeah.
So because I think they were like 9-0 or something, and they got mollywalked in the playoffs. It's like super weird.
Yeah, Bryce Perkins. Yeah, Bryce Perkins won the MVP last year. Remember that? Yeah. And he's not even in the league now. What is Bryce Perkins? In the league. Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly,
what is Bryce Perkins doing right now?
Like, yeah, compared to the rest of the games, yeah, this is your.
Bryce Perkins now plays with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Oh, so he's in Canada.
Yeah.
All right. So
he's also a Super Bowl champion.
This is your Ali Foreman. Like this is your big one. This is your marquee. This is your heavyweight bout. I'm going with DC. I'm going with DC more so because they have the continuity. Like most of their roster is kind of the same. St. Louis is going into this thing with a new head coach. And you can say what you want about Anthony Beck. Like he had that team prepared. And I honestly think like St. Louis without AJ McCarron is I was
Yeah,
like,
they've felt like they've been a quarterback away basically since he left. And they still have Akeem Butler on that roster. They still have all the talent in the world at the running back position. Jacob Saylor is no longer there, but they do have Jarvion Howard. I did a whole thing on him last time. And then they have Ja'Cour Pearson, who was really good for the XFL way back in the day, and he was on, I think, the Sea Dragons, that team that had the Nooch on it. And they have the reigning defensive player of the year on their roster as well, with Pita Tawamimoinu. I apologize. I don't know.
Hey, you did it the best you could.
Let's go.
I'm not mad at you.
Reigning defensive player of the year. But with that being said, I'm taking the DC Defenders too. They're coming off the championship. Assuming they have ring night, they're going to raise the banner. I think the hype will be real. Actually, they won't be, because this game's in St. Louis also for no reason whatsoever. Like the fact that, I'm not going to complain about it again, TJ, but the fact that you have the team that won the league going on the road in their first game.
I'm not going to complain about it again. Continues to complain about it.
But I will take the DC Defenders. I think you're right with the continuity. I'm also going to be logging all of my predictions for the UFL this season, so that way when I go back,
I have to do a better job of that too.
Because I want to be able to see what my record is at the end, man. I'm like, oh, I got all these right. But yeah, I got DC. And then on there, we got the Battle of the Texans. We got the Houston Gamblers, who used to be the Roughnecks, going into Toyota Stadium, is where the Dallas Renegades play. They feature Mr. Spring Football himself with Mr. Luis Perez. Donovan Smith is the quarterback for the Houston Gamblers. I had to look him up. He's a college player. I'm going to have to look him up again because I don't remember anything about him. I talked a lot about him during the preview show, but I cannot remember anything about him right now off the top of my head. And then Kevin Sumlin, former Texas A&M coach, is now the head coach of the Houston Gamblers. And then Dallas Renegades, we got Rick Neuheisel, a pretty popular former NFL name, now the head coach of the Dallas Renegades. And I will look up Donovan Smith because I cannot remember I can't remember anything about him right now.
Yeah. The only one I really know is Kevin Sumlin, and hey, I'm wishing nothing but the best for Kevin Sumlin. I still have not forgotten how Texas A&M did him.
Oh man, he got cut actually from this Gamblers. So I don't know who the quarterback is for the Hunter Deckers. Is that? I don't know who that is either. TJ, you got anything?
Say the name again.
Hunter Deckers is going to be the starting quarterback for the Houston Gamblers. So he is 24 years old. He played at Iowa State from 2020 to 2022, and then he played at Iowa Western for 2024. He was an undrafted free agent in 2025. He played on the New Orleans Saints practice squad last season, and now he's on the Houston Gamblers, and I'm assuming he's going to be the starting quarterback of that football team. He did start for the Iowa State Cyclones in 2022, going 4-8, 19 touchdowns. They weren't good. 19 touchdowns and 14 picks. He threw for 3,000 yards. He does have like the prototypical size when you think about the quarterbacks that play in this league, 6'3", 215 pounds. They just signed him in January. I guess he's going to be the starting quarterback.
And it's tough too. Because that 2022 season, they won their first 3 games. Like, you play Southeast Missouri State, all right, cupcake, you beat their ass. Then a rivalry game, you play Iowa. It's not high scoring. Hell, many Iowa games aren't high scoring, but you win 10-7, and then you play Ohio and you beat their ass, and then you literally go on to lose.
Oh, they also have Nolan Henderson on their roster, so he may start for this football team. He's a UFL veteran.
Then you lose 5 straight, and then you.
I will say Nolan Henderson, while he's been in the league a long time, he hasn't been particularly good at any point in his tenure in the UFL. They also have Tua Tagovailoa's brother, also on this roster as well.
Oh, he went to Maryland.
Yes, he did.
I always wonder what happened to him.
He's on the Houston Gamblers roster.
He's on the Houston Gamblers, right? So he's probably gonna get some. He's probably gonna get some run at some point.
Well, I don't imagine. I know this Houston Roughnecks team was 5-5 last season, but I do not expect them to be that good this year. Their roster is kind of in rough shape. They do have some decent like Justin Hall, who's been in the league for a while. They have Amari Rodgers at the tight end position. They have Javante Kirkland, who used to be like absolute stud in the UFL, actually the XFL back in the way day, but he kind of fell. He got an injury and then fell off a little bit last season. So look for him to bounce back. They have Nate McRae as the running back there for this team as well. But back to the game itself, I'm not betting against Mr. String Football. I'm taking the Arlington Renegades or Dallas Renegades. I wonder how long it's going to take me to not screw that up, but I'll take the Dallas Renegades to beat
Arlington, Dallas,
Gamblers.
Same thing. I probably just offended so many people right there when I said that.
But I think for the Battle of Texas, give me the Renegades in this particular matchup.
Absolutely, and not to be disrespectful, I don't think it's going to be close. I really don't.
I agree with you on that. And then the final matchup of the weekend, we have two expansion teams going head-to-head with the Orlando Storm, who will be hosting the Columbus Aviators. Anthony Becht, of the former head coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks, is now the head coach of the Orlando Storm. And then Ohio State legend, NFL legend, Ted Ginn Jr. is now the head coach of the Columbus Aviators.
Ginn Jr.
The starting quarterbacks for these football teams, Orlando Storm, they got DTR as their starting
Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Yeah. And then Jalen McClendon is the starting quarterback for the Columbus Aviators. And if you remember last season, he had a really nice end of the season for the Houston Roughnecks. That team didn't end up making the playoffs, but he got up to a really nice little 5-game end of the season there for the Houston Roughnecks. He comes in as the Columbus Aviators starting quarterback. They also have Clayton Tune on their roster as well, who's had a cup of coffee in the National Football League.
Yeah, Clayton Tune, most notably.
Well, you threw that terrible,
what
was it, fumble interception in that game against, I don't remember who they played, but.
Yeah, Clayton Tune, most notably, his cup of coffee in the NFL was with the Green Bay Packers. I think for guys like a DTR and Clayton Tune, who have been in the NFL for most of their respective professional careers. DTR, unfortunately, in his locations, never really got, in my opinion, was never really given a real fair shake. Like, he got the job in Cleveland, and it was like what's really expected of him. Like, it wasn't, not a lot was expected of him. Clayton Tune in Green Bay was never pegged to be the guy, not with Jordan Love there, not with like he even fell behind Malik Willis at some point, and so on and so forth. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. It's like if you're these guys, if you're the Clayton Tunes, the DTRs, basically like the guys who have been in the NFL, know what it's like to get to that quote unquote mountaintop. You have one job and one job only, and that's to prove that you can get back. Like, don't come down to this league thinking shit sweet, because that's how. It's not that.
I will say that the Columbus Aviators. So they are basically the Michigan Panthers. That's because they have a lot of the same players on this roster. So they have Tawatua, the big bruising running back that was playing on the Michigan Panthers last season. They had 6 touchdowns. And then they also have Kiki Kism, who has a cup of coffee in the National Football League. On the other side for the Storm, they have here's a name for you. Ready, TJ?
Yep.
KJ Hamler is on their team as one
KJ Hamler.
Yeah. Got banged up a ton in the National Football League, and his never really able to live up to that second-round pick billing by the Denver Broncos. But, yeah, he got banged up, and now he's in this league. And also they have an old stalwart in the UFL and in spring football. Chris Rowland is also one of their wide receivers. And then at the defensive side for the Orlando Storm, they have Isaiah Buggs, who has bounced around the league, in and out of the National Football League. Has had some off the field stuff that kind of has kept him from really reaching his full potential. But he is a good football player when he's right.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, I'm taking the Columbus. I'm taking the Aviators too. I mean, if this is because it's essentially the Michigan Panthers team being transferred to Columbus, and it's the Brahmas being transferred to the Orlando Storm. And if you remember anything about the Brahmas from last season, as much as I like them, they were not a good football team last year. I think they had 2 wins all of the year. It was just not a good team last year. And the Columbus Aviators, the Michigan Panthers lost the title. This is a better football team. And Teka Jr. being the head coach is interesting to me for that particular squad. So,
yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I got to get the game ball slide out of here. I forgot about that.
It's all right.
But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. This has been our 2026 UFL season preview, week number 1, as we try to be the number 1 hub for all things UFL. Next week, obviously, we'll recap week 1 and we will preview week number 2. Keep an eye out for all that content. Please like, share, subscribe to the podcast here at Prime Sports World. Tomorrow, we'll be doing the WWE show, where we're going to talk about all the stuff that happened on Raw and SmackDown in the last week. We're also going to update my way too early WrestleMania card because I got some updates on it. So yeah, all that stuff going on. Please like, share, subscribe to the podcast. I'm David Huffman. Right there is Mr. TJ Hopkins. And TJ, what do we do here at the Prime, my friend?
We bring the heat, kind sir.
Yes, sir. You have a good night, man. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you, bud.